Welcome back to Spork Syndicate. My name is Tom. Let's get gross. For the fifth phase of the year-long super huge ginormous build-off, I'm making an automotive version of the monster from John Carpenter's classic film, The Thing. I'm using a Hot Wheels Chevy Nomad Wagon, but it will hardly look like one when I'm done with it. I began this build last Halloween, but it was a little too graphic for a community build, or so I thought. The concept was to have the wagon turned inside out, but instead of blood and guts, it would be parts of the car caked in oil, grease, radiator fluid, and so on. So when Uncle Polly said monsters and diorama, I was excited to restart this build. The alien in The Thing is unseen. It infects at the cellular level and carries the genetic information of every being it's imitated. When threatened, the imitated being will thing out, twist and open and tear in horrifying ways, briefly revealing itself while combating or escaping. The movie showcased incredible practical makeup effects by Rob Bottin. But while there was blood and viscera in some of the scenes when the thing was rearranging itself, Bottin and his team used unexpected colors like green and purple rather than an avalanche of blood. It created an otherworldly effect, but grossed out audiences nonetheless. A lot of what I'm doing here is modeled after two things: the sled dogs that are consumed, as well as the Two-Face combo found buried in the ice. That means I need a few more Nomad wagons to complete the effect of infecting and imitating prey. The diorama is going to be a parking lot. It'll have curbs and grass and sidewalks and shrubs. It's also going to have a subfloor so that the thing can burst from under the ground. I use foam core and wood to create these three-dimensional aspects. Square dowels build a gap between the subfloor and surface of the parking lot. This allows me to anchor the monster beneath the ground and rip up the asphalt and shower the place with debris. But first, I put some seams into the curb and sidewalk. Details are important here, and also ways to cover up. To de-emphasize the uneven seam between the two raised sidewalk parts, I cut out a sewer. I create the iron framework with styrene plastic and pattern sprues from a 3D printer. This little bit of realism also adds to the effect. I cut cracks into the parking lot surface, essentially breaking down the stages of what would happen very quickly. I unpeeled the pieces like flower petals because the thing took on a lot of blooming looks, especially through someone's torso for maximum effect. But there was a poetry to it. I used plastic gaskets that came with my son Jackson's soccer goal as a framework, or skeleton, of my thing. I stack and glue them, along with a large plastic toy wheel and a used Scotch tape roll to create the tree trunk-like main body out of which horrible things will protrude. An added benefit of using a hot glue gun for fabrication is the slimy look. It can look organic, bubbly, and make two objects appear to be fusing together or tearing apart. I broke out my heat gun to melt a bunch of small sporks to act as the blossoms, or conduits between one appearance and another. The sporks also served as good cover for the wires and other framework. I cut up a new, unused comb to create teeth in the mouth of the trunk. With the green hue of the milliput and the comb's black teeth, the thing looks like a giant kiwi fruit right now. I use more milliput as the gums of the mouth to secure the teeth. I added some plastic snakes and insect legs I bought in bulk at the $1.25 store to add to the terrifying nature of this Nomad Wagon thing. I flattened soft aluminum wire to create a stretched framework for the first of the 3 Nomad Wagons erupting from the monster. This Nomad is my tribute to the Two-Face thing from the movie, with the hood, roof, and front bumper stretched almost to the point of breaking. In the thing, and its source material, the novella Who Goes There by John W. Campbell, the alien does not only assume the appearance, but also the memories and personality of anything it devours. Who Goes There is set, like Carpenter's film, at an outpost in Antarctica. The scientists know the thing is among them, but they can't discern it from the colleagues at first glance. Paranoia ensues. The inhabitants of the outpost disable their vehicles and aircraft and don't call for help on the radio to prevent the thing from escaping. They go so far as to shoot a bird from the sky out of fear it would carry the infection to the inhabited world. In the film, one of the scientists runs a computer simulation and it concludes that the thing would assimilate every living creature on the planet 27,000 hours after first contact with civilization. In a short story written as a sequel to the film, The Things, by Peter Watts, the creature narrates, referring to itself by one character name after another, describing itself as escaping, rising from the dead, standing in a doorway, all thoughts at once. Maybe in the car world, that means the life of an aftermarket part being used in another car. I am a left rear quarter panel. I used to be part of a family car, but now I'm cut and hammered into this hot rod. Kind of makes me think of the recent meme where plastic toy dinosaurs are made from oil, which used to be dinosaurs, which means toy dinosaurs are made from real dinosaurs. Everything is taking shape. I used hot glue to appear like a headlight melting, creating a slimy stalactite. Assembling the inside-out Nomad hanging high above was daunting. It took wire framework, quick-setting glue, and more melted sporks to show what was supposed to be the vehicle peeling open from the radiator to the tailpipe. The rules I'm using for this build are from The Thing, but I added that the thing uses spork blooms to create or release the imitation, while parts of the thing also take on the red and white colors of the vehicle during the process. A 3D printed engine bay and an orange Chevy V8 block, as well as elongated dripping axles with tires on the end of them, completes the look of the wagon melting from the inside out. Since this is a much larger build than I normally do, I had to use 3 different colors of primer: black for the parking lot, gray for the sidewalk and the creature, and white for the 3 Nomad wagons in various states of transformation. I treat the whole thing like a single piece and paint it by hand. The unremarkable finish on the 3 infected nomads furthers their unreal appearance. Instead of the main body of the thing being black, I echoed Rob Bottin's special effects and used green, purple, and blue for an otherworldly look. This is one project I'm not afraid to go overboard with blackwash on. The overlay takes some of the brightness away, but doesn't diminish the shiny, slimy look of the trunk. Now that the thing has colors, it's time to complete the environment. This begins with grass and bushes from the hobby store, but continued with kitty litter, which represented the chunks of asphalt, concrete, and rocks beneath the surface. I used black wash, brown wash, and makeup to add various colors and textures to the diorama. Parking lots have puddles, spills, low points that gather sediment and oil stains. I begin going big, but then shake off some of the excess debris. And when I handled the diorama, I kept hearing loose kitty litter between the layers. I also sprayed the parking lot with contact cement to hold down the loose bits. Alright, just another day at Spork Syndicate. Shooting a diorama. It's a big job, so we bring in Lou. Hello. Could be a door ding in the parking lot that transmitted the infection. Maybe the exhaust carried the alien to this Nomad wagon. We may never know. This is my entry into the super huge Ginormous build-off. For Spork Syndicate, this is Tom. See you again real soon.